Recording in progress.
What up? What's good, family? I'm your boy Trey, Fraser. I got my brother Maestro Styles here with me.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to another episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Special shout out to all of our Facebook Live viewers right now. Make sure y'all continue to follow us on the Facebook page. Click the like button. And you can also follow us on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. And you can follow us on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast and also on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. Maestro, my bro, what's good, man? How we living?
What's going on, man? Coolin'.
That's what's up. Hey, man, we got a lot of congratulations to go around on this platform right now, so I'm going to just, get right into it. Dawn Staley, coach of the South Carolina Gamecocks, congrats to her and her squad on the national championship Sunday night. I tell you, man, she's building a pretty great resume of her own. She's won the chip twice already, and, she's becoming one of them head coaches in women's basketball that, not quite like UConn just yet, but she's definitely building that resume with what she's done with, with the squads that she's been getting year in, year out.
Yeah.
Shout out to her. And shout out to Destiny Henderson, who dropped 28 points in that game against UConn. From start to finish, it was really all South Carolina. UConn didn't have a lead not once in this basketball game. And, I think the closest they were able to get it to was like 7 points. But South Carolina just kept coming back with buckets and shot after shot. And, it was a good game. I wish it was a little bit tighter, but South Carolina had to handle their business and all that. So, so shout out to the women South Carolina Gamecocks. Shout out to Dawn Staley. Shout out to what's the girl named Aaliyah Boston, who was on the team. I think this was her 4th year there. Was a part of the team that almost pulled it off a couple of years ago. But got upset on the last shot, I think. So shout out to her and Destiny Henderson as well. So job well done.
Yeah, shout out to them, and shout out to Don. Like you said, shout out to Dawn Staley, man. Just taking it to from the court to the bleachers, or to the what do you call it, sideline.
Yeah. Yo, I got a question though, because I was just thinking about this before we got on, like. Female head coaches in women's basketball compared to female head coaches in the WNBA in terms of salary. I never had a chance to do the research on this, but I'm just curious, like, what kind of, difference is there in terms of salary? Do they make more in college basketball, or do they make maybe slightly more in the WNBA?
I don't know to answer your question, but I tell you, I'm pretty confident that it's more money in college basketball than the WNBA because frankly, people watch more of college basketball than they do in WNBA. Look, players are barely making a meal. Now, didn't Dawn Staley make like 2.2 or something like that this past year?
Somewhere.
Or she got some type of she got some like crazy raise or something like that recently.
Yeah.
So I don't know many players who are making that kind of money, let alone a coach in the WNBA. So yeah. I would assume that it's probably that way. That college women's basketball gets paid more than WNBA.
Yeah, I think you're close to right on that one. I would lean in toward that same direction where there's just a lot more interest in the college game than it is in women's pro leagues. So I'm
gonna ask an ignorant question. Name a head coach in the WNBA
right now, and I only know this because she just got hired, and that's Becky Hammon, who coaches the Vegas team now. So That's the only name I could throw at you right at this second. I don't know any other head coaches there right now.
Yeah, I mean, with you know, what I mean, and with due respect to the WNBA, I mean, women's college basketball has just been here way longer. I mean, uh, there's an integrated sense of team pride when you go to that school, and there's a game going. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to get to the game. I'm obviously the big
Tickets are cheaper.
Well, maybe not. I don't know about ticket prices, but I know that CBS and TNT, they do deals around women's college basketball that the WNBA doesn't necessarily have because of the infrastructure of women's college basketball that have been around for years.
Right.
In comparison to the WNBA, which is only maybe going on maybe 25 years now.
25. Yeah. Yep. 97 was the inaugural season. So yeah. And by the way, I think ESPN has rights to women's basketball, not CBS and TNT. That's the men's side of it, or at least what I've watched.
Okay.
Over the years.
Okay.
ESPN pretty much got that whole thing on lock. And it's funny because Dawn Staley even mentioned something about it in her post-game presser that she appreciates the network and the coverage of women's sports and women's basketball, but it's just got to be taken up, a few more levels when it comes to notoriety, the sport and all that good stuff. And I referenced something you said a while back too. If more women started to dunk and have more splash plays, then that interest level is going to go up more than it ever has.
Yeah, well, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole this early, but I guess I'm going to because I was just having this conversation yesterday with somebody. With these, I reckon, I believe that we're going to start to see more women dunking soon. With these transgender, with all this transgender stuff going on. This is not a news story per se, but there's a transgender swimmer who, she's now identifying. I guess she was a man at one point. She now identifies as a woman, and now she's like breaking all the records, like in a crazy way, and there comes that conversation about the person who who was once a man now identifies as a woman comes into a woman's league with maybe a little more testosterone than I guess a woman born a woman, and and those some of those male advantages still are still there.
Yeah.
And with some of those rules maybe starting to change, I think you'll start to see a little bit more of, for lack of athleticism. It's no way to sugarcoat it. I think you're going to see more women.
More athleticism.
Yeah, I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see more women dunking. I think you're going to see more of the flash as some of those women who identify start to integrate into the sport.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because I think it's happening.
Yeah,
because I think it's happening.
I didn't even think of it that way, but yeah. I mean, you kind of make a great point in regard to that. Shout out to Mo Cheese in the Facebook live chat. I think he makes a good point here. He says with the NIL, there's probably going to be more NCAA women's basketball players making more than WNBA players very soon. That could be possible. That's possible also.
Yeah. I mean, obviously because likeness. That whole likeness thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Now you can start getting the agents to brand that. I mean, man, it's starting to become. It's honestly starting to become like why would women go play professional if they can make all the money off their likeness? I mean, I think it's going to upgrade the WNBA eventually. So
yeah,
I mean, if you're a big college player, I mean, obviously if you're a big college player, the WNBA is going to want to cover you more. They, I mean, I think marketing dollars. This is good for everybody. That NIL thing anyway.
And like
it's
most
good
leagues,
for everybody.
Like most leagues, they're going to adjust to what's happening around.
Yeah.
You know, so the WNBA, they're smart enough to know that this is coming down the pike, and they'll be able to market these players a lot better than they have.
And they need the marketing dollars.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, they need it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shout out to. Well, I want to also let everybody know who participated in the Barbershop Sports Talk podcast merch giveaway over the weekend. You know, thank you to all the people that participated. We had like 5 participants, and I guess before we got on, I guess it's now 6 participants. But I did want to congratulate Jelani, who's a fan of the show. Also has got his own podcast, part of the X Squad radio network. He was the only one that picked Kansas out of everybody. So, you know, congrats to you, homie. We'll be able to, you know, get that stuff out to you. You're going to get me yelled at tomorrow. Look, man, I ain't see it. I didn't see it.
You're definitely going to get me.
Hey, I made the instructions straight and clear on the video. So if he wants to participate in the next one, you know, we will make sure we set him up real good. So
shout out Taiwan Beckham. I'm gonna get him a keychain or something. I ain't got no shirts lying around in here. I'm gonna give him a keychain or something.
All right, yeah. You got me curious, man. I'm gonna look for wherever he posted a score at.
I'm gonna ask him where he's seen it at, because the way he was talking, that score, his score definitely did beat Jelani's the way he was talking. So
okay, all right.
But shout out Taiwan Beckham.
Yeah, no doubt. Shout out to everybody that was involved there. And congrats to the Kansas Jayhawks on winning the chip. 4-point win, biggest comeback in championship game history. Down by 16 at the half. Came all the way back, and it was sort of like, you know, back and forth toward the end. Feel bad for homie from North Carolina that slipped right there. Twisted his ankle. I didn't even realize that was the second time he twisted it. But that was, to me, sort of the turning point, because he was going for 2 points in that situation, and I think they were either tied or they were down by 2. And
down by 2.
They were down by 2. Okay, so yeah, that to me was just one of those like unfortunate situations, because it certainly led to you know, it helped with the comeback by Kansas and everything. So so shout out to Kansas. I was rooting for Hubert Davis in this one. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
Yeah, of course. Me too.
I was rooting for Hubert Davis, man. I mean, North Carolina, South Carolina, 2 black head coaches, back-to-back nights, champions. Like, I mean, that couldn't get no better than that, man. I was so.
I don't know if this was true, but I read somewhere Hubert Davis is from PG.
I don't know.
I tried to fact check it before the show, but I saw somewhere that Hubert Davis was from PG County. I don't know if that's a fact or not, but that definitely added to my level of rooting for Hubert Davis. And then this is his first year, right?
First year
in NC. Yeah. So
year,
I mean,
number 8 seed, by the way, number 8 seed.
Yeah, number 8. Yeah. Yeah. So I definitely was rooting for him. You know, Kansas pulled it out. I mean, they pulled it. I mean, was it? How many points was it? 15?
16-point deficit. Yeah, largest in the history of the game. Yeah, crazy stuff, man. I rooted for Hubert Davis because he was a former Knick from back in the day, and
Wizard too.
He was a Wizard too. Okay.
Yeah, only a year. He was only there for like a year, but.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I had no idea about that, but. Yeah,
shout out the Jordan era.
Yeah, shout out to North Carolina though, man. They had the alumni real present. Like I saw Antoine Jameson in the crowd. You know, Kenny Smith is, you know, alumni with North Carolina, and Jordan was there obviously, and you know, a few other faces, Vince Carter. So shout out to all the alumni there, man. But that was a tough one, because you up by 15, 16 points. Like you got to pull that one out.
Yeah, you would think, but you know.
And it goes.
That's why you play the game, right?
Yeah, that's why you play the game. And you know, it's funny, as that lead was dwindling down, I thought about a couple weeks ago when they were playing Baylor, the number 1 seed in the first, I think it was the second round, and they were up by like 25 points. And this was the game where people complained about the refs, and Baylor was just knocking around North Carolina just to get them to get back into the game.
Get back into it.
And Baylor ended up tying the basketball game, got it to overtime, and North Carolina eventually pulled it out. But I couldn't help but think about that moment, because that was one of those what the hell moments. Like, you up 25 points, you gotta close the thing out. So, but yeah, man,
that's a dangerous spot to be in sometimes, though.
Oh, I know, yeah, because you get lackadaisical and you just like, all right, we got this. 15 minutes in the game left, and you like, all right, we cruising, we good. Let's pop champagne, let's get the streamers going. But nah, that's why these dudes play these games, man. And in Kansas, that's they pulled out some legendary stuff right there.
Yeah, for sure.
They got a kid on there named Remy Martin. Like, that's like, that name is so dope right there.
Shout out to his parents.
Shout out to Deacon Dell in the Facebook live chat. Appreciate y'all with the support and all that. So, I guess I'll transition to the NBA. It's the last week of the season, man. Just realized it a few days ago. I think Sunday's the last day. I think everybody plays. Pretty much, I think everybody's kind of like set, right? Like, there's nobody that's like jockeying, because the Lakers are throwing in the towel, bruh. LeBron's not playing tonight.
Yeah.
I think they're like 2 games out of the 10th spot, behind San Antonio. The Lakers are just mailing it in at this point. They're just kind of like, what's the point if we're not gonna be able to, get into the 1 through 8? You know what I'm saying? Even though, I mean, you look at the Spurs, like, I think they can beat the Spurs, right? That's
but
they're
11, right?
They 11, yeah. The Lakers are 11 right now. So it's kind of like, okay, if y'all get in there and y'all got to play like the Pelicans or somebody, like, I give them a chance against the Pelicans.
Yeah, but Anthony Davis ain't 100%. I watched him a little bit Sunday playing against Denver.
Yeah.
And he ain't right.
Now, did he just come back, or did he just come back from an injury, or because recently, I felt like recently he had like maybe he's 2-3 weeks in. Huh.
So he's like not fresh, but I mean, but watching him, you see it. He ain't right.
He ain't right.
Yeah. And now they kicking, and now Frank Vogel's out. They mutually agree.
Is that official, or it's coming?
That's what they say.
Oh,
that's Twitter news. I mean, they ain't fire him immediately. He's not fired right now, but
okay.
They're gonna part ways at the end of the season.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, damn, like, it's only 3 games left. I mean, let the man coach the last 3 games. It's crazy.
What do you need to coach? I don't even know what he need to do that for.
I mean,
I can't really blame him. I mean,
if you was gonna fire him, you should have did it at the trade deadline. Like, I mean, come on.
I mean,
it's not his fault. It's not his fault.
I don't know that I completely blame him, and I'm not high on Frank Vogel by no stretch of the imagination, but I don't know if I can completely put this on him without being, and I'm not a LA Lakers fan. I'm not deep into what they got going on, but
we're not Lakers fans.
I don't know if I could put this. I don't know if I could put this whole thing on Frank Vogel. I mean, but I will say they brought in a whole bunch of veterans, old cats.
Yep.
With the express purpose of competing, and they didn't compete.
Yeah.
So take with that what you will. But the Bama just won a ring 2 years ago.
Yeah, like, at least, I mean, he deserves some form of respect. I mean, it's a bubble, but
or
he won it. You know what I'm
or
saying?
not. Yeah, I don't even say the bubble. He won the chip. That's what he did. He won the finals,
No, sure,
one way or the other. Yeah. So
sure, but a lot of people put an asterisk toward it, so I disregard it. I just say, hey, it was in a bubble, but still they won it. So, unusual conditions right there.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I don't care. I don't care about the Lakers.
yeah. I don't.
You know what I'm saying?
By
It's
the way,
like,
I
look,
don't,
my my,
and
my,
nor do I care about Frank Vogel.
my team has had a disappointing season. So who am I to care about what's going on with the Lakers? Good for them. Good, they want to throw the towel in. Good for them.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm looking at 7 through 10 right now in the West, and you trying to tell me in a one game situation, y'all don't have a chance against any of these teams? Pelicans, Spurs, the Clippers with no Kawhi, and I get PG's back, and PG was going off on his on the game that he returned
Game he
the other
came
day.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I get that, but you trying to tell me if you LeBron, one game, Spurs, Pelicans, Timberwolves maybe? I don't know about the Timberwolves. Timberwolves I think are pretty good team this year.
Yeah. Timberwolves. Yeah.
I don't know about
Yeah.
them.
I agree with that.
But everybody else I think can be had against the Lakers. But hey, it is what it is. Maybe he don't want to get knocked off by Phoenix again. Maybe that's it.
Because that's definitely gonna happen if they make it.
Yeah, facts. Facts.
Probably gonna be
Facts.
uglier than it was. It's probably gonna be way uglier than it was last year. It wasn't that bad last year, but yeah, it's probably gonna be uglier this year if they had to play him. So
Yeah, exactly. So who's the MVP right now? With a week left.
well, I I'm I don't know, but I saw your tweet that you're decided, and I wanted to know. I guess I wanted to know where you were with that.
It's the Greek freak, bruh. I mean, and I know we talked about this a month ago where DeMar DeRozan had a stretch where it looked like he was
Yeah, but
the
he's
MVP,
gone.
but
Yeah.
yeah, he's down the list right now. Embiid, I'm trying to think. Jokic, I know Jokic just kind of come on a little bit there. Devin, I don't know about Devin Booker all that much. I know some
Nah,
people are.
I'm talking about seriously though. Like I
I
get
know,
that
I
Devin Booker
know.
should be in the conversation, but seriously, it's Embiid, it's Jokic, um, and I guess at this, again,
The Greek.
I don't feel like
Mhm.
Giannis. I don't feel. I call him. He won a championship. I told myself that I'm not going. Greek Freak. Um, like he wasn't really in these conversations, at least in our conversations. Like we would give him the respect because of who he is in the league.
Right.
Like but he wasn't heavy in these MVP conversations. What changed your mind as of what Sunday or Saturday when you tweeted?
I think what changed my mind was that game against the Nets. I think it was Thursday or Wednesday. Um, it was a game where the Nets controlled it for like 3.5 quarters. They was up by 9 points with like 3 minutes to go. I actually turned the TV off because I was tired. I wanted to go to sleep early, and come to find out, I wake up the next morning and the Bucks won the game in overtime. I was like, "Whoa! Like what happened?" Turn the highlights on, and the Greek Freak went to work in them last 3 minutes, bruh. Like, knocked homie knocked down a 3-pointer, tied the game up, sent it to overtime, and then they kind of pulled away after that. And I was like, "Yo," like, and maybe it's just me, but and I don't think he's there yet in terms of the shooting, but compared to last year, it's stepped up a little bit this year. I wouldn't say by a whole lot, but it's certainly stepped up a notch this year. And the fact that they struggled so much in the beginning of the year, and they've kind of worked their way up to the standings. I know they were like the 2 seed for a little bit. They're number 3 right now. They're kind of on this surge right now where I mean, his numbers are great. I mean, the last
The numbers are
10,
there, yeah.
10
Numbers are there.
games, the numbers have been great, and the team has been surging up the Eastern Conference standings. And so for me, it's a combination of things. It's what he did at the end of that Nets game last week. It's the Bucks as a team. It's the Bucks as a team surging in the conference, and the numbers that he's been putting up. So for me, it's like, why not? Why not?
I'll say because with all due respect to his year, because the numbers have been there all year, whether they were bad or whether and when they started to surge and now that they're three in the conference, they're but Embiid has still been Embiid all year with and for me the motto
Yeah.
with the highlights, with the moments. The coverage is on him, and he's showing out with the pressure on his back. For whatever reason, the intention had all year has been kind of off of Greek Freak for whatever reason.
Right.
I don't know what the reason is, but the attention ain't really been on him.
They started
this year.
slow. They started slow.
Yeah, and Embiid for the most part has delivered all year. Same with Jokic. He for the most part he has delivered. They've delivered all year, and that's not to say that Greek Freak hasn't, but it is to say that with the lights on him all year, Embiid has been Embiid all year.
I don't know if I would put Jokic in that category in terms of saying that he's been this way all year, because even Denver kind of coming out the gate
was a little slow, yeah.
Yeah, they were a little slow too.
That's true. That's true.
And I get that the conference is a little better with what Memphis and Phoenix has done, and even Golden State, for a while there before Steph got hurt. But Jokic, I mean, in that Nuggets team, they're number 6 right now, and I don't know if I would put him in the category of that he's kind of been doing it all year. I would put Embiid in that category in addition to the Embiid narrative. If you want to throw in the fact that they've had to deal with the Ben Simmons situation, with him not being there, not playing, and they finally trade him away and Harden comes into the picture, then cool. I like that addition into the narrative of Embiid is the MVP. I wouldn't be upset if he won it, to be honest with you. I don't
it's Embiid for me.
I don't like the last couple of games by them, particularly against Detroit the other day, and I tweeted out after that game, and I said, look, this is that time of year where you looking at the standings and you looking at the teams ahead of you, you looking at teams in that 7-8 spot, and most importantly, you looking at players in that 7-8 spot. And Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving most likely is going to be either the number 7 seed or they're going to be the number 8 seed. And it appears to me, and this is not a popular narrative, this is not a popular opinion, it's just an observation.
No, I think it is a popular narrative. I think you letting these Twitter finger niggas take you off your pivot. That is a popular opinion.
You think that's a popular opinion? Because I haven't heard anybody bring it up.
I think it's a popular opinion that that the Sixers don't want that Brooklyn Nets smoke.
Okay. Because I haven't seen anybody mention it. That's why I made it clear. Like, look, this ain't popular.
With respect to these Twitter niggas, I don't talk sports on Twitter like that for real. I just jot little, whatever. Like I talk to people, where all that cute talk, tough talk, you get punched in your face plant talking crazy.
Yeah, my man was like,
so
yo, we can meet up and see if you about that. I'm like,
yeah, nigga, what? Like I see, I don't like. But I digress. We ain't.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to go into that.
I'm just
I wasn't trying to go into
that. But for me, yeah, you damn right. I think that the Sixers and forget whether it's I forget where. I don't care whether it's a popular opinion or not, but in my circles it is. But
right.
the fact of the matter is that James Harden do not want that Kevin Durant smoke, and I'm sorry, neither do Embiid. I don't, I don't think that James Harden want to have to guard Kyrie Irving. I don't think he want that smoke.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think he want that smoke.
That's exactly what I was thinking when they lost to the Pistons. And I'm like, look, if you're considered to be, even though we don't think you're going to the championship, but people in NBA circles think you're a championship contender, you got to beat teams like the Pistons. You got to be able to secure yourself as the top in the Eastern Conference when it comes to the playoffs. You want everything to go through you. Dodging the smoke, dodging KD, dodging Kyrie. Y'all trying to. I mean, y'all scared. Y'all scared.
Well, let me say this. I don't think that the Sixers losing to the Pistons says that they're ducking smoke. While I do think they're ducking smoke, by the way, it's very possible that they just, every now and then. I get that it's the wrong time of the season for them to be having, for them to not be clicking.
Yeah.
Like mid-season, mid-season they run through the Pistons, no problem.
Right.
So this is the time where you should be getting in playoff mode. You shouldn't be dropping eggs like that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I do think they just happened to drop an egg, and maybe that says a lot about that team. But I don't think that loss was necessarily the indication of them ducking smoke. While I do believe that they're ducking smoke. I thought about you, and I guess you was going through some Twitter, a Twitter back and forth. So I didn't really get to go into what I was really thinking about.
Hey, homie thought I ain't had time that day. He thought he was just gonna post something, and then I was just gonna, go off like the wind.
I don't know who he thought. I told you that's Maxie's burner account, bro. But anyway, they bring in James Harden, and I remember saying expressly when it happened that that does not make this team a championship team. While I understand that they should be aiming for those things, I'm not saying that obviously they should aim for those things.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that they probably is as dynamic as a player as James Harden is offensively. They gave away a lot of core pieces on their team, and I think they miss the holes that they gave up.
Drummond and Seth Curry in particular. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I get that Ben Simmons wasn't playing, but even in some respects, if you could have got Ben Simmons to play, he's one of the better defenders in the game.
Yeah.
So those are holes that need to be filled. I'm sorry, Seth Curry was your best shooter. Drummond was a independent defender.
Yeah.
And I think that they're going to suffer with those kinds of holes missing. I don't think this is their year, and I didn't think it when they got them. And my point remains the same. That this is not a championship team as they stand right now. And really, this is just going to put the pressure on James Harden. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe James Harden is going to go on a tear with Embiid, but I doubt it.
Yeah, we'll see.
I doubt it.
We'll see. And if they ducking the smoke of the Nets, they better hope somebody knock them off early.
And who? And really, like
they better hope somebody knock them off.
That's
early.
why you play the games, but who?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, let's just say they're number 7, and they going up against the Celtics with a healthy Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum going off the way he's going off. Now I know the Robert Williams injury hurts for them, but they're talking about possibly getting him back for the playoffs. I don't think that's an easy series. I'm not saying that the Celtics are gonna beat the Nets in a series like that, but I'm just saying that I think that's gonna be a tough series for the Nets to win. I think if they go up against the Heat in the first round in a 1-8 matchup, that's gonna be tough for them because Miami's gonna beat you up. They may not win the series, but they're gonna make sure that you're bruised bad enough to where you get to the next round, and all the energy might be left from battling the Miami Heat.
Yeah,
it's gonna be tough.
The odds say that with the Nets being the 10 seed, I believe it is, right? With them being
number 10 right now, yeah.
Yeah, with the Nets being the 10 seed, they are still the second odds wise, they are still number 2 to win the finals.
I thought that was number 1.
Let's be clear.
I thought that was number 1.
Yeah. No, I think Vegas got the Suns before them.
Oh, okay.
For whatever reason.
Oh, okay.
But bruh, that's not by accident. Like, Kyrie Irving is back. KD is back. And man, if they get that boy Simmons on the court, if they could just so happen to get that boy on the court, it's gonna be trouble, bro.
Is he gonna play? Is he gonna play? I know he's not playing.
That's what I'm saying.
The rest of the week. He's not playing in the play-in.
Yeah.
But
in the play, right? I'm just saying, if they just so happen to get that boy on the court, I don't know if it's gonna happen this year. I don't know. Whatever back spasms, whatever's going on.
Do you believe that?
If
he's got back spasms?
Well, yes, I do, but I don't believe that back spasms stop you from playing, depending on how much they hurt. So I don't know how much it hurts. I don't know. I don't know nothing. Huh?
The nigga ain't played a game since he got bounced from the Hawks last season in the playoffs.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I get it. But I don't think.
All of a sudden, come playoff time, his back's gonna be healthy. All of a sudden.
Well, spasms. It's not like a ligament is broken. It's not like you know what I'm saying? Like, spasms. It's
why not bring him back for the play-in tournament?
You gotta ask the doctor, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to sit here and make it seem like I know. I get where you're going. I get where you're going with it.
Yeah.
But that back is a trick. Your back, you old. You ain't even playing sports. You old like I am. One day a back could fuck your whole day up.
Yeah, I
and
get
the next day you be all right. The next day you be all right.
I get it. I'm just like, why the crazy timetable if it's just back spasms? Like, if he's all good, like if he's all good, let's say tomorrow, why can't he play the last 2 games of the season, play that play-in game? Because they're gonna, if you ask me, I could use him in the play-in tournament.
Damn right you could.
I could use him there. You're going to have to face Trey Young probably in this play-in tournament. I would pick the Nets to beat the Hawks if you're giving me one game
regardless,
anyway. Yeah, I would necessarily do that. But if you're the Nets, you want him out there because you want that nigga to get some playing time.
So well, look, I'll say this. Back spasms are tricky, and if I'm to assume, and I'm just assuming, if I'm to assume what Ben Simmons' major role is going to be on this team right now, like if he gets to play this season, his major role is going to be lock down number 1, whoever their number 1 is. Lock him down.
Yeah,
and he can guard 5. He can guard 1 to 5. So whoever that guy is, lock him down. The best way you know how. We got points here. You ain't got to worry about doing none of that. We got points here.
Yeah.
We got everything offensively we need. Put your energy into locking somebody down. Maybe give us 10 points. You know what I'm saying? In a couple of 4 boards, and we good. And we good. But guarding a number 1 defender. Hey man, sometimes that I can see that back getting out of I can see that back getting out of whack. So you kind of got to be careful with that. Somebody 5 trying to post you.
Yeah. And
I'm just freestyling. I don't know. I don't know why.
I'm curious how this is gonna play out though. I'm real curious what if come to play in tournament. And they get by whoever they got to get by to get in the 1 through 8. Okay.
And let's be clear, I'm fully confident they're getting in that 8. So
yeah.
There's no doubt.
I think it's.
I would be extremely surprised.
I mean, who's in the play-in right now? It's Cleveland, the Hawks, and the Hornets. I mean, if I had to pick two out of those four, give me the Nets 100%, and give me the Hawks just because they got Ice Trey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
You know?
Right.
Although I wouldn't mind seeing LaMelo Ball get into 1 through 8. Although I
like LaMelo Ball, but
although I wouldn't mind seeing the
but he ain't. I wouldn't mind seeing LaMelo Ball, but he needs some help. It ain't no way to slice. He needs some help.
I know what you mean. Help as in he needs a superstar. Help. He needs a superstar help.
No, well, he need a cast around him. I believe LaMelo Ball is a good enough shooter and a good enough guard to be a superstar. He ain't there yet, but I believe he got what it takes to be a superstar. I think he just need help.
Because some of those guys, like Terry Rozier, P.J. Washington, Mikal Bridges, like some of these guys have had some pretty good seasons.
Sure. I'm sure.
So that's why. So that's why I said. That's why I said when you say he needs help, I'm thinking, oh, he needs superstar help because none of those guys I mentioned are superstars, but those are guys that were, getting their buckets all year.
Well, when I say help, I mean like a Chris Middleton tier type of help.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like not necessarily he's not a superstar, but he's a good if you need him to score 30,
he can close.
If you need him to score 30, he can get you 30. Like he might not average 30.
Yep.
But if you need a game where he needs you to get 30, 35, he'll get you 30, 35 in a playoff game. He needs that kind of help. I don't respectfully. I don't believe Mikal Bridges. I don't believe Terry Rozier. As far as that type of thing.
Got you. Because Rozier had, and I know it's regular season, but Rozier has gone off for 30 multiple times this season so far.
Sure.
So I think they're a good team. I just think, like you said, they do need some. They do need some more around that team. But I don't want to poo-poo what them other guys have been doing this year because.
Respect to what they've been doing in the regular season, but if they make the playoffs, that's a different game.
Oh, of course. It probably. I mean, if you're talking about a matchup between them and the Heat, they might get swept.
Yeah, and I'm not even saying they're not. I'm saying I haven't seen it. I don't believe them. Mm-hmm. So if they prove me wrong, I would gladly come back on here and be like, yeah, I was wrong, but I don't believe them.
So we in agreement that. Of those four, it's gonna be Atlanta and Brooklyn to get those 7, 8. However that shapes up to be when it's all said and done. Mo Cheese in the Facebook live chat. He says Embiid's done enough in my opinion to win it, meaning the MVP. I actually like Ja Morant, which y'all didn't mention, and you're right, we didn't mention Ja Morant. And Ja Morant was in my MVP conversation for a while. There, but
injury.
Yeah, he ain't playing.
He just got injured, so I don't know if he's quite done what Embiid has done this year.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been in the running pretty much.
They've been.
I mean, they number 2 seed. I get where you're going.
That's the second best record in the league right there. Like not just the West, the league. The
league, right?
And when you talk about highlights. That brother been giving it to you. All
highlights.
Long.
I mean, and I guess his reigning moment is that 50-point game against I forget who it was against. But
don't think I remember that, but yeah, I hear you. Like
no, we def that's when I remember it happened. I feel like it happened on like a Wednesday night and it's when you came in the next week and said that Ja Morant was the best Grizzly to ever play in the he was the
in franchise history. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was off that 50.
I know what. Game. Okay, so I know what game you're talking about. I don't remember the opponent either, but I know what game you're referencing there. But he's. I mean, all year he's been balling all year, and his team has been in contention the whole time. His team has been on site the whole time. Like,
it's interesting how they remind me of Golden State in the sense that
mm-hmm.
they didn't really bring in no big, big league, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But they're just waiting for Ja Morant to kind of cross that superstar, like
Yep.
really be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it might have came this year, but if it didn't come this year, I think it's
It's on its
definitely
way.
coming next year
It's on its way.
where you got to put him up with the big dogs. You got to put him up with Steph. You got to put him up there with
Yeah.
Kyrie. He's just like right under them.
Mm-hmm.
But he coming for their necks for damn sure.
The question,
And I like his game way better.
the question for me with the Grizzlies is going to be, can guys like Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson Jr.,
Jaren Jackson, yeah.
Dylan Brooks, can those guys
Right.
be, like you said earlier, the Chris Middleton types where if he can give you 30, he can get you 30 on a night when maybe your superstar isn't having a good night, and that dude just shows up and kind of picks the slack up. Like, I think that's going to be the question for me, if they can do that more on a consistent basis, because I thought the Grizzlies would be a good
I've
team.
seen Dylan Brooks last year have a couple of 29, 30 type point games.
Yeah.
So I've seen Dylan Brooks be able to do it. It's just like you said, it's just consistency at this point.
Yep.
It's just consistency at this point. And like I said, they're the number 2 seed. You got to respect that they're the number 2 seed. And off my head, I don't know who the 7th seed is, but I give it to the Grizzlies without even really knowing who the 7th seed is. I mean, obviously we don't know because of play-in, but
Yeah, I think Minnesota's the 7 right now, and that would be a great series, to be honest with
That'd
you.
be a good series, but I don't see Minnesota beating them.
No, I don't either. I mean, but I think that has the potential to be a 7-game series for certain.
Yeah.
With the way Cat's been playing, and Anthony Edwards has had a solid year also for Minnesota too. But yeah, I mean, for me, the Grizzlies, and I thought they'd be good this year. I thought they'd be a playoff team. I remember you and I was going back and forth about, is it them, is it Dallas? If you had to choose one, who would you choose for that final spot? And you went Dallas, I went Memphis, and and both teams are really having good years too. Dallas is having a good year too.
Yeah,
so
good year. Yeah.
So yeah. One thing, man, I'm just ready for these final 2 weeks to be done. Like, even past the playing games and stuff, because I've kind of made up in my mind. Let's just get to the
playoffs.
Right. Let's just get to the 1 through 8, because in my mind, and like I said, Atlanta and Brooklyn for me in the East, those are the 2 teams that are gonna make that final 1 through 8. In the West for me, now that Paul George is back, I got the Clippers and I got Minnesota.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get it on, man. I'm ready.
Right.
I'm ready.
Did you moving on from playoff talk, NBA playoff talk? Did you hear Kevin Durant saying basically that his jersey should be retired in OKC and Golden State?
Yep, I did hear that.
Do you agree?
In OKC, yes, 100% in OKC. Golden State, not so much.
Why?
I know that he won, the championships, and really they've been to the finals all 3 years that he was there. They got 2 out of 3. It's pretty damn good. I just, for me, I just don't see Kevin Durant as, like, when it's all said and done and he's in the Hall of Fame and he does his speech and stuff, like, I think up to this point, because I don't know how much longer he's going to play with the Nets, but I'm always going to look at him as Seattle/OKC. Remember, they were still the Sonics when he drafted him. I'm always going to look at him as that. Like, when you think of OKC, you're going to think Kevin Durant. Like, he's probably the best player in Thunder. I'll say Thunder history, because I know they combine the Sonics and the Thunder, as one.
You don't think he's the best player in the Sonics history as well?
think about that one. Because Gary Payton was. Gary Payton was.
I'm about to say it's only two arguments you having against Durant.
But that's what I'm saying.
Gary Payton and Sean Kemp.
That's what I'm saying.
With respect to Gary Payton, he's not Kevin Durant.
Okay, but
just career wise.
Sure, but I'm just talking strictly since they moved to OKC. The face of that team with the Thunder logo has been Kevin Durant.
100%.
So
100%.
I don't. As far as Golden State is concerned, no.
You wouldn't retire his jersey. That don't make him the best player in.
I'm saying if I'm Golden State, I'm not retiring number 35. I'm not retiring number 35. Yeah.
Okay.
How you feel about it?
I think I am.
If you're Golden State.
I think I'm if I'm Golden State, I think I am. I think that Kevin Durant going to Golden State with everything on, and I understand that he went to an already stacked team.
Yeah,
I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Golden State saw immediately that they had something that they couldn't deal with in LeBron James, and Durant immediately resolved that issue. I mean, immediately.
And really, when you say that, you really should say they couldn't deal with LeBron, Love, and Kyrie all at once, because they beat them the first time with just LeBron there, without Kyrie and without
LeBron,
Love.
Right.
So it was really they couldn't deal with those three.
But when they got their number 3 to their big 3,
yep.
Splash and KD.
Yep.
Meaning, but specifically because that meant there was nobody that could deal with LeBron. I get the other two guys were there, and LeBron went on a tear. If I remember right, they was down.
Yeah.
They was down.
They was down 3-1. They was down 3-1.
3-1. Okay, and then LeBron went on to put on, like, he was damn near averaging 40 a game. It feel like
he put on a tear in the first finals matchup, the first Golden State one. Yeah,
right. True. So for me, it was like, oh shit, we can't deal with the king like this. So we got to get somebody to balance out LeBron.
Yep.
And KD came in and did that immediately. And I don't know how much about that first one that you remember, but it was seeming like when them ass get tight moments happened, KD was going straight at LeBron every time. It felt like every time he was going straight to LeBron. Yeah, like, what's happening? Like, let's go.
Yep.
And he was getting his way.
Yep.
So I think for those two, like, pending, obviously Curry, I think it was Curry that got injured, and then later on Durant got injured. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm more talking myself out of it, but I'm going to stand on my point.
Okay. So you're talking about the one they lost.
Unstoppable.
You're talking about the one they lost.
Yeah, I'm talking about. I'm moving forward to the one that they lost.
Okay, yeah.
So, but let's be clear. Durant healthy, they win that. They beat Toronto. I get it. We play the games in hindsight, and
it's funny because
they win that championship.
While you're talking, I'm thinking about Kawhi going to Toronto and winning the chip. And we're sitting here talking about should the Warriors retire KD's number for 2 championships, 2 out of 3, and granted it was a short period of time, but you're of the opinion that Golden State should retire the number. So
and I know exactly where you're going.
So in this example with Toronto, should the Raptors retire Kawhi's number?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, at least you're consistent.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say about that. At least you're consistent.
You damn right. Because the perennial mid that Toronto was before Kawhi came for that 1 year.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. And
they was perennial mid.
I get it. And I even posed a question. I remember when we were writing blogs and stuff, and I even posed a question: was he part of the Mount Rushmore of all time Raptors players? And if I remember, I believe I included him in the Mount Rushmore with him, Vince Carter,
Lowry,
McGrady, and I didn't even put Lowry in my Mount Rushmore. It was more Vince Carter, McGrady, Kawhi, and I think I put Stoudemire to top that off. I don't remember.
Oh, you did, yeah, and I disagree with that, but I got you because I'm about to say Kyle Lowry definitely got to be on there for me, but I go. I think I go McGrady, I go Vince Carter. No, I go Vince Carter, I go Kawhi Leonard, I go Lowry. Then McGrady.
Yeah, and it sucks because DeRozan has been there for a while there. It's just that he wasn't able to get him over the hump, but. I think
because DeRozan, respectfully, it's funny because I heard Dreamville, somebody on Dreamville, on the Dreamville album, just talking about him like he was mid.
Yeah.
Respectfully, a great player, but he never, for whatever reason, if that's just
LeBron,
where he at in his career, he never ascended. I mean, but even he went to San Antonio and that didn't really go his way.
Yep.
And he's in Chicago now, and I mean he had a moment, and I get that we were talking MVP for a minute, but here we are.
He looked better
back again.
He looked a lot better this year.
Definitely did look better.
Buzzer beaters.
But
he dropped 50 the other night. I mean, he's had a lot more moments this year, just regular season wise.
This year for certain.
We're just gonna have to see if this translates.
The playoffs going to have to happen
into the playoffs
because it's going to, and I think we talked about it last week. It's going to fall right on him.
Yep.
In this playoffs, it's going to fall right on him.
Yep.
And if he show up, then I'll shut up. But nah, I don't
all things
believe
worked out, they would play the Sixers in the first round. If all things worked out, and that's
I expect him, and he should be able to. Yeah, he should be able to ball with James Harden. James Harden don't play defense. I mean, I get they're not necessarily going to be guarding one another in all purposes, in all situations, but that star versus star matchup, I feel like DeRozan should win that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now obviously they got Embiid. Obviously they got another star to deal with that they don't have, that Chicago don't have an answer for.
Right.
But
Vucevic ain't gonna be able to deal with Embiid.
Yeah, obviously, but he should have in my book, DeRozan should have a great series against the Sixers.
They need to get Lonzo Ball back though. They were really fluid when he was in the lineup, and
I think they sitting him down. I think they're talking about sitting him down for the rest until the playoffs.
That's smart on the Bulls' part to do that.
Yeah,
because they're gonna need him, and Caruso's back, which he's a good defender, so you're gonna need that.
He's just a guy. Yeah, respectfully, he's just a guy.
I mean, he's just a guy, but he's still their best defender.
Yeah. Is he? I don't know. I'm asking.
I think he's their best defender. I mean, nobody else. I don't think nobody else on that team can.
That's not saying a lot, though. I tell you what, that is not saying a lot.
No, sure. I just know when he was on the Lakers. I mean, he was not to say that he was locking down guys, but he was.
Yeah, he just had defensive hustle moments. Like he's a hustler. I give him that. But it's not like you put him on. Hey, Caruso, go lock down James Harden.
Yeah,
he ain't locking nobody up.
If anything, James Harden gonna lock himself down. If anything, and I don't know if it's me, but with the rule change and how you can't, what's the thing? You can't jump into your defender or something like that.
Oh, flop.
The flop.
Yeah, basically flop. Yeah,
it seemed like he can't play his game. Like he.
Yeah, that's his game.
Yeah. So
his game is free throws.
That's
he normally he's getting like 12. He's normally getting 10 to 15 free throws a game. I'm sure it's not nowhere closer. It's closer to 10 than it is to 15 this year.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting in the playoffs because his averages are down from what they normally are this year.
Of course they are.
Because of this rule change. So
of course they are. Yeah, of course they are.
I know people tried to attribute it to, well, he's playing with KD, he's playing with Kyrie, and no, it ain't that. It's the rule change.
I'm sure that got something to do with it, but it's that rule. It's that rule. Yeah. I remember when they introduced that rule. The only reason that rule meant anything to me is because of James Harden.
Yeah,
it's not because other people don't do it, but James Harden that's the James Harden rule. That's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Oh, what was you about to say?
I wanted to give a I just wanted to give a shout out to moving on. I want to give a shout out to Tim Hardaway, Mono Ginobili, Swin Cash, George Carl, and all the other Hall of Fame people that made the Hall of Fame. But those are the names that stuck out to me. Mono Ginobili, we know, even though we don't really care for the Spurs on this side, Mono Ginobili was a dog. Tim Hardaway, though.
Yeah.
I'm not saying more congratulations
Mm-hmm.
than the other people, but I'm just saying Tim Hardaway for me. Congratulations.
Yeah. Congratulations to all the nominees and finalists. Actually, they're all gonna get in.
They're finalists, right?
And I didn't even see Swin Cash's name, but yeah, deservedly so for her. She's got championships. So. Yeah, shout out to her and George Carl too. It was funny. We were, I forget what we were mentioning George Carl's name for. Oh, it was the top 15 coaches. In league history. Right. That's right. And
right.
I think you brought his name up as a potential snub out of the top 15. So, congrats to George Carl on that front.
For sure.
I just got one last thing, man. I'm looking at this list of free agents still in the NFL, and it's a bunch of names that's like, yo, like what's going on? Like, I'm looking at Julio Jones, Jarvis Landry, the Honey Badger, Landon Collins. Like, Landon Collins.
He don't have a good resume. He's not coming off a good. He don't got a good reputation right now. Let me say that.
Mm-hmm.
Landon Collins coming out of, I know he coming from Washington. I think he went to
I can see
that. What did he left Washington and went where?
He got cut. That's why he's a free agent right now.
He got cut by Washington. Okay, no, I thought somebody picked him up. Like, okay, I thought somebody did pick him up, but yeah, Landon Collins ain't coming off a good Washington bid, so I can see why he might still be there. I'm sure he'll get picked up, but I can see why he wasn't picked up immediately. The Tyrann Mathieu thing befuddles me. I feel like Pittsburgh should have been signed him by now, especially considering what his rumored price could be.
Yeah.
I don't see why he has not been signed by Pittsburgh yet.
What is that rumored price right now?
I believe it's $8 a year.
That's it.
That's the rumor.
Damn.
That's the rumor.
Not that we need a safety, but I could use Tyrann Mathieu on my squad.
We definitely could use a strong safety. So, and let me tell you, I think Pittsburgh is top 5 in offseason this year. I think signing Tyrann Mathieu would definitely keep us in that top 5.
In terms of the moves y'all made?
Moves, right. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because we managed to do a lot of cheap things, and the only thing that people are frowning on is the Mitch Trubisky. But he was cheap, and we know he's a stopgap, so I'm okay with that. Like, I don't have an issue with that. Like I look at what Jameis Winston got, we wasn't doing that.
Okay, top 5 moves. I'm just trying to think.
Vegas,
Tampa Bay, right? I think Tampa Bay's
Tampa Bay is off season.
They're off season. Brady comes back out of retirement. They re-signed Leonard Fournette. They re-signed the offensive lineman. I forget his name. And they're probably gonna re-sign Gronk. Jensen, yeah. Jensen. They re-signed Jensen. They're probably gonna get Gronk back. If you're talking top 5.
If we're talking about top 5. Las Vegas.
Yes.
Miami.
Okay. Cleveland.
Deshaun Watson is major.
Yeah.
It's leaving my mind because O.J. Howard just went over there.
What about Buffalo with the Von Miller signing?
Yeah, and I think Pittsburgh rounds out at 5.
Okay.
I think Pittsburgh rounds out at 5. Miles Jack is a big move. Not a
Okay.
big move. It's a solid move.
Solid move. Solid
Uh,
move.
the guy from the James Daniels from Chicago on the offensive line is a solid move.
Mm-hmm.
You asked me to do it on the fly, but you asked me to do it on the fly.
Wait, what about the
Like I
Broncos?
said,
What about the Broncos?
oh yeah, the Broncos. Okay, we might be at the top five. Yeah, we might be
I'm
at the
like,
top
wait a
five.
minute. There was too many crazy moves this offseason for y'all to even be like considered top 5 in terms of offseason moves. Top 10, I could see. I could see top 10.
Okay, yeah, we might be at the top
Cause I would,
five.
cause
We might
my squad with the Marcus Williams signing and getting the offensive tackle, I would consider us top 10 moves right now. Even though we lost a couple of guys, but we're getting guys off of injury combined with the people we just signed also. But yeah, it was just too
Well,
many crazy moves for it to be like, wait a minute, there's more than just that. Like,
and didn't the Rams get Allen Robinson?
they got a receiver. They got a receiver. Yeah, I think they did get Allen Robinson. But you mentioned the Rams. I think they had a pretty good offseason too. Granted,
And they got Bobby Wagner, so
Bobby Wagner.
there's that.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. He chose the West Coast, man, over the East Coast, bro. Because
Well,
he was in the
I
building.
know you was.
He was in the
Yeah, I'm about to
building.
say, and he got about 10 million a year.
Mm-hmm. And
So it was right within what we were thinking he would get. And how does that leave you feeling?
I don't like it, bro.
Do
Like,
you believe Baltimore just wouldn't pay them that? Is that
nah, I think because we got the space for it. Like if he signed for 10 with the Rams, we had 10. We had 10 to give him. I just think it was
yeah?
just a combination of Baltimore, Los Angeles,
You think he chose? You think they offered similar
sunny
money and
Los
he
Angeles,
chose?
sunny Los
Okay, I mean I
Angeles.
can see that. I mean they just Super Bowl champions. I mean yeah,
Right, right. They're the champs.
yeah.
They in a conference where there's not a lot of competition in terms of the quarterbacks you're gonna face. The weather's nice. Number 3, the weather's nice, right?
Yeah, right.
I can't
Yeah,
blame
yeah,
blame the dude. I can't blame
yeah.
him. And I don't know if this is important to him. I don't imagine it would be, but he gets to face his old squad a couple of times a year now. So
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know where. I mean, I know he tweeted that they didn't even tell him that they was going to cut him. I know
yeah,
that. I know they said that, but I don't know if that's chalkboard material.
right, right. Yeah, it's crazy.
You congratulations while we talking football. By the way, congratulations to Todd Bowles, who's the head coach at Tampa Bay now. Bruce Arians got a promotion, I guess is the best way to say it. Got a promotion, and he ain't really. Well, he's not really. He's not going to be coaching anymore.
Right.
He's going to be doing a more of a general manager type job. I think he was he actually hired as general manager?
I didn't hear that. I just heard that he was gonna be in the front office. That's all I heard.
Okay. Okay. Well, anyway, a black coach gets a job. Congrats to Todd Bowles. In my personal opinion, I would have liked it to be Byron Leftwich, but I ain't gonna complain.
Can't. Hey,
How
it
much?
didn't matter. It didn't matter.
I mean, it kind of matters to me. I want Byron Leftwich to get a job. I want the younger coaches to get into this thing. With all due respect to Todd Bowles, I want the younger cats and Leftwich from PG. So that
Well, no
with that
question,
being
Leftwich
said,
deserves. No question, Leftwich deserves
yeah.
a job, especially after the way Jacksonville did him. But yeah, there's no question he deserves a job. Todd Bowles, I'll say, deserved the second chance at a head coaching job. I'll say that.
I agree with that. I think for me though, I would like to see Byron Leftwich get a job, but no shade to Todd Bowles. Congratulations nonetheless. Do you think that were you aware of any issues between Bruce Arians and Tom Brady?
I wasn't aware, but
Neither was I.
I was aware of conversations about it, but not nothing that I saw visually, like, when you watch a game and they're panning to the sidelines and stuff like that. Like I didn't notice anything that he was getting tired of Arians.
Neither had I. Neither did I. There was a conversation I heard about, obviously Tom Brady being a playing the role in Antonio Brown coming, but Bruce Arians didn't really want him to come. Obviously, he had history with Arians in Pittsburgh, and but basically decisions that were being made on the strength of Tom Brady and not necessarily on the strength of Bruce Arians, and that maybe that was causing a tiff between the two, and that he retired because of that tiff. These are just rumors.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna say I don't know.
I like to believe that Bruce Arians built a legit coaching staff around him, so that times like this, where Bruce Arians decides, you know what, it's too much stress right now. I'm getting old as hell. I got some young guys. I got a diverse group of people that can take over when this time comes. And this was the moment. This was the moment to do it. Whether Tom Brady was going to come out of retirement or not. Like, this to me was going to happen at some point. Whether it was a week ago or next year or 2 years from now. This was going to happen. And quite frankly, I think that this should be the blueprint. I don't want to say the blueprint, but I think when it comes to black
Andy Reid should
coaches,
do the same thing, is what you're saying.
That too. But I don't want to make it seem like this is the way black head coaches should be getting jobs, because I would like head coaches to still interview and get the job right then and there on the spot. I still want that to happen. I don't want it to just be, well, it's the white coach who's on his way out, and so he's passing the torch down to him. I don't want it to
I'm not mad at that either, though.
I'm not mad at that. I just don't want that to be the focal point of it. I want opportunities for black head coaches to get it however they can get it. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be you're taking over for somebody, or you getting in that interview room like Brian Flores did, with the Giants, and, being able to lock
even
down
though that was
job.
a bullshit interview.
Even though it was. But I would like to see, those kinds of interactions, for whether it's first-time head coaches or second-time head coaches. I still want that avenue to be there, in addition to what Bruce Arians did. So yes, I would like to see Andy Reid pass the torch down to Eric Bieniemy at some point. I would like to see that.
All right, I got this. The last thing I got, and I will give you a choice as to whether you want to talk about it or you don't.
I know where you're going.
Are you ready?
I know where you're going.
Channing Crowder on Russell Wilson.
Why not?
If you don't want to talk about it,
why not?
If you don't want to talk about it, I will accept that you don't want to talk about it and leave it there.
I'll say this. I watched the episode earlier today.
You watched the entire episode?
I watched the entire episode. And
okay. I didn't. I was just asking.
Okay. You watch the clip, or did you?
I saw the clip. All I saw was the clip. Yeah.
Okay. So I watched the entire episode. I was working from home today, and I said, let me pop this thing on. Maybe it's something you and I will somehow get into. Even though I really didn't want to talk about it. It was in my notes, but I was okay with not talking about it.
If you would have said no, I would have said, all right, I ain't got nothing else.
I know, but all I'm gonna say is this, right? I don't see what the problem is. Like, I don't see what all the what all the excitement is about. Like, okay, he called him a square. Okay, I mean, I don't know that man. You know what I'm saying? Channing Crowder, he in NFL circles. Russell Wilson is in NFL circles. You probably know him better than, most of us do. I know for a fact that he probably knows him better than most of us do.
Or we
So
don't know him at all.
maybe, but it's like, okay, I don't see what the big deal is. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I don't get what the whole problem is.
Well, I think what the problem is that not only he said Russell Wilson is a square.
Mm-hmm.
He said that the only reason Sierra is messing with him is for his money.
Mm-hmm.
That women ain't. First of all, women are championing.
And what in the hell is wrong with that? What the hell is wrong with that? What's the old school song? Nothing going on but the rent. But if you want to be with me, you gotta have a job. I don't remember how the lyric goes, but like
I don't even. I know the lyric, but I don't know the song. I don't even know what the song is.
Yeah, like women.
You went deep into the '90s hip hop.
I think that was an '80s song. To be honest with you.
Oh shit, yeah.
I think that was an '80s song, but yeah, like women want financial security. I don't know a woman that doesn't want that.
I mean, some would say Sierra was already financially secure.
Sure, but there's other.
I mean, I'm sure Russell Wilson probably makes more money. Yeah. Well, look, I don't know. This is what I would say.
And maybe Russ treats her better. I don't know.
I mean,
that
was going to be one of my points. Maybe he was just a better partner than Future was.
Exactly.
I mean, like I don't, look. I think I'll be short. Channing Crowder, while you may feel that way and you're entitled to your opinion, and I think that your show speaks, like the premise of the show is being able to say what the fuck you want to say,
mm-hmm.
how you mean it, and all those things,
mm-hmm.
and I get it, and I respect that
I
approach.
do too. Mm-hmm.
You might have put your foot in your mouth on that one, and it's not like it's going to last. It'll be over by the time the next episode come out.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying that in that instance, maybe you don't mash the gas so hard on that take, because the truth is, or my truth is, let me say, I don't know Russell Wilson, so let me be clear on that. He could be the coolest, smoothest, or most gangsterest motherfucker in the world. He could be that.
Yeah.
His public image could leave somebody with the opinion that he might be a square.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. Some women like squares. And if you consider, and I don't, if you are to assume, and that's all I'm doing, is speculating and assuming, Sierra's dating list consists of Future, Bow Wow, 50 Cent, some other people I'm leaving off.
Mm-hmm.
And for all intents and purposes, how the media played it out, these weren't good relationships for her.
Right.
I don't know what. So if you realize that maybe these aren't the type of people that I want to deal with, and I want to try something different, Russell Wilson is projected, and I'm saying this, I don't know because I don't know.
Based on a narrative, based on media attention.
Based on a narrative. That's all I'm basing it off as a narrative.
Yeah.
The narrative is that Russell Wilson is a different cat from a Future, a Bow Wow, or a 50 Cent. And for all intents and purposes, he's met the task. He's met the standard. And they look happy, and who the fuck cares who, why, when, where they're together? They're together, and they seem happy. It's funny because I was watching Cowherd on YouTube today, and they was talking about top 10 offseason teams, and they showed Denver, and they obviously showed Russell Wilson at his press conference. And who was there at the press conference, Russell Wilson and the entire family.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Summer Walker has a song or an interlude on her album called Sierra's Prayer, meaning that these women appreciate that Sierra has found a man for her. At the end of the day, that's all that fucking matters.
Some women.
That's all that matters.
Some women like squares, but I know a woman that doesn't like a square.
And I don't know that he's a square. I'm just saying that based on how he's, you know, they're happy.
Yeah. Jada don't like a square. I'm not gonna get into that. I just wanted to throw that out there. Yeah. I'm not talking about that. Shout out to our Facebook live chat. Shout out to all of our listeners. We appreciate the support weekly. Don't forget, folks, to make sure you check us out on our social media. We're on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. We're also on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2, followed by the Facebook page. Make sure you click the like button so that when we do these Facebook Live sessions, you'll get notifications. Also, follow us on the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. And if you got any questions or any comments about the show, you can hit us up on the email at barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. So, I guess that's it, bruh. Guess another week in the books, and I'll holler at you.
All right, bro.
All right. Y'all have a good week. Peace.
Love.